What if I told you that reality, the very fabric of existence, is constantly trying to talk to you? Not with words, but with whispers, nudges, and impossible coincidences? And what if I told you you've been trained to ignore it? Welcome, dear soul, to another journey inward. A journey that stretches far beyond the mind, deep into the mysteries of the universe. I'm your host, Sukhmander, and today we will discuss synchronicities, why we are trained to take it as coincidences. Every single day, subtle messages are placed in your path, moments too precise to be mere accidents. That song that plays just as you're thinking of someone, the number that seems to follow you everywhere, the stranger you randomly meet who holds the exact answer you've been searching for. Most of us brush these off as simple coincidences. Just luck, we tell ourselves. But deep down, you've always felt there was something more, haven't you? And you're absolutely right. These aren't accidents. They're what we call synchronicities. They're not random. They are deliberate messages. They are patterns woven into reality itself, gently guiding you towards something far greater than you can imagine. Ancient civilizations understood this. Mystics and philosophers throughout history studied these phenomena. But in our modern world, we're taught to dismiss them as luck or chance. Why? Because the system, the conditioning, doesn't want you to realize this profound truth. These moments, these synchronicities, are proof that the universe is not what you've been told it is. It's not a cold, indifferent, random place. It's intelligent, it's responsive. And in this episode of Create Your Inner Awareness, we're going to pull back the curtain. We'll reveal what synchronicities truly are, why they happen, and most importantly, how you can begin to use them to literally reshape your life. From the moment you were born, you were conditioned. You were taught to believe in a world built on logic, structure, predictability. Every single thing had to have a rational explanation, and anything that dared to defy that framework was dismissed. Coincidence, imagination, they'd say. But here's the unsettling thought. What if that conditioning wasn't just accidental? What if it was designed? Designed to keep you blind to the deeper forces constantly at play around you. Our education system played a massive role in this suppression. Schools didn't teach you how to listen to your intuition. They didn't teach you how to recognize synchronicities or understand energy. Instead, they taught you to memorize facts, to follow rules, to obey authority. Creativity, imagination, and abstract thinking were systematically pushed aside in favor of logical reasoning and hard data. If you couldn't physically see it, weigh it, or measure it, it simply wasn't real. And questioning this model, that was actively discouraged. The entire system is built on this idea that you must only trust external authority, never your own inner knowing. Mainstream science became the ultimate gatekeeper of truth. And I'm not talking about the true spirit of science, the kind that boldly explores the unknown. I'm talking about the rigid, materialist version that insists everything is random, meaningless, and explainable by pure chance. Under this narrow model, synchronicities are nothing more than cognitive biases. Your brain playing tricks on you. You see the number 1111 on the clock over and over? That's just confirmation bias. You meet the perfect person at exactly the right time? Pure luck. Everything is stripped of deeper meaning, leaving you feeling disconnected from the very forces that are trying to guide you. But here's what they don't tell you. Some of the greatest minds in history, from Carl Jung to Nikola Tesla and even Albert Einstein, all recognize that reality isn't as random as we've been led to believe. They understood that synchronicities, patterns, and hidden connections were actually clues to a greater truth. And yet, society often ridicules those who take these experiences seriously. Talk about synchronicities openly, and you might be labeled superstitious, irrational, or even delusional. People who embrace these signs are often cast aside as spiritual nuts. while those who conform to the materialist worldview are praised as logical, intelligent, and reasonable. This, my friends, is no accident. It is social conditioning. If you want to control a population, the very first step is to ensure they never truly discover their own inherent power. Because the moment you start paying attention to synchronicities, you begin to realize something profound. You are connected to something much larger than yourself. Now, some of these truths are too deep for a short podcast segment, and I can't share absolutely everything here. That's precisely why I created Kuvox Shift, to dive deeper into what we're not supposed to know, to truly peel back the layers of reality. The real reason they don't want you to notice synchronicities is because these moments reveal a crack in the illusion. They show you that reality isn't just a cold, indifferent machine. It is an interconnected web, constantly responding to your thoughts, your emotions, and your energy. Once you start seeing these patterns, you can't unsee them. And that, my friend, is where the real awakening truly begins. Because the next question that naturally arises is, if synchronicities aren't random, then what are they? Where do they actually come from? And why do they seem to increase the more you become aware of them? Let's go even deeper. At some point in your life, you've had an experience so precise, so perfectly timed, that it felt impossible to be random. You think about someone you haven't spoken to in years, and your phone rings. It's them. You open a book to a random page, and the words staring back at you answer the exact question that's been on your mind. You notice a repeating sequence of numbers, 111, 222, 333, showing up everywhere, as if reality itself is leaving you clues in your path. These are not accidents, they are messages. And the more you start paying attention, the more they will appear. But here's the real secret. Synchronicities are not just coincidences. They are deliberate signals from a deeper intelligence, a force that has been quietly guiding you your entire life. The universe is not a chaotic collection of random, disconnected events. It is an interconnected field of energy and consciousness. Every thought you have, every intention you set, every emotion you experience sends out a frequency, like a radio signal. And synchronicities are the universe's way of responding. They are the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the physical and the metaphysical, the conscious and the subconscious. Carl Jung, one of the greatest thinkers in modern psychology, actually coined the term synchronicity after observing countless instances of events aligning in ways that absolutely defied logic. He believed these meaningful coincidences were not random, but rather powerful expressions of the deeper, hidden order of reality, a concept that ancient spiritual traditions had actually understood for centuries. Eastern philosophies call it karma. Mystics refer to it as divine timing. Even quantum physicists describe it as non-locality, the radical idea that everything in the universe is fundamentally connected beyond space and time. Yet, mainstream science often avoids this topic, quickly dismissing it as mere illusion, despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Consider this. The entire universe is built on patterns and interconnected structures. Nature follows fractal geometry. Planetary orbits align in mathematically perfect ratios. Your very DNA is encoded with repeating sequences. Everything in existence operates through patterns, cycles, and relationships. So why would human experience be any different? Why would your thoughts, emotions, and decisions not follow an underlying structure? The answer is, they do. And synchronicities are undeniable proof of that hidden design. They are the glitches in the matrix, if you will, the moments where the underlying order of the universe reveals itself. And once you start seeing them, you begin to realize that reality is far more malleable than you were ever taught. But if synchronicities are messages, then the obvious question becomes, who or what is sending them? Some believe synchronicities come from a higher version of yourself, a future self guiding you toward your optimal path. Others believe they are signals from the collective unconscious, that vast shared reservoir of human thought and experience that Jung so vividly described. Some even believe that synchronicities are hints from an external intelligence, whether you call it the universe, source energy, or even a simulation attempting to communicate with its players. Whatever their origin, one thing is certain: synchronicities are not meaningless. They are invitations to wake up, to pay attention, and to shift your awareness from autopilot to conscious creation. Because the moment you start recognizing them, the illusion of randomness begins to crumble. And that leads to the next crucial question. If synchronicities aren't random, then how exactly do they work on a deeper level? What is truly happening beneath the surface that causes these perfect alignments? And more importantly, how can you truly harness them to transform your life? The answer lies in understanding the hidden mechanics behind reality itself. Let's go deeper. If synchronicities are indeed messages from a deeper intelligence, then the next question is, how do they actually work? What's truly happening beneath the surface that causes these perfect alignments to appear in your life? The truth is, there's a hidden mechanism that explains why certain events seem to connect in ways that completely defy logic. And once you understand this mechanism, you'll realize that you have far more influence over reality than you've ever been led to believe. At the core of synchronicities lies a simple, yet incredibly powerful principle. Your mind is not just a passive observer of reality, it is an active participant in shaping it. Modern neuroscience actually confirms that your brain filters reality based on what you focus on. This is called the Reticular Activating System, or RAS for short, a network in your brainstem that determines what information actually reaches your conscious mind. Have you ever noticed that after you buy a new car, you suddenly see that exact model everywhere? Those cars were always there, but your mind simply wasn't filtering them in until your focus shifted. The same thing happens with synchronicities. The moment you start noticing them, believing in them, and expecting them, your brain shifts its focus, and suddenly they appear far more frequently. But this phenomenon goes even deeper than neuroscience. Quantum physics has long suggested that consciousness plays a fundamental role in shaping reality. The famous double-slit experiment, for example, demonstrated that the mere act of observation actually changes the behavior of particles at a subatomic level. This isn't just theory. It means that reality isn't a fixed, independent structure. It is responsive. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your focus literally interact with the very fabric of the universe. Now, combine this groundbreaking insight with the law of vibration, one of the fundamental principles of metaphysics. This law states that everything in the universe is energy, constantly vibrating at different frequencies. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your beliefs also carry specific vibrations. And these frequencies dictate what you attract into your life. If you're constantly thinking about fear, scarcity, and limitation, your energy aligns with those experiences, and you begin noticing patterns that reinforce them. But when you consciously shift your frequency, when you focus on alignment, purpose, and the possibility of synchronicities, reality quite literally starts to mirror that back to you. This is precisely why people who awaken to synchronicities suddenly experience more of them. It's not just that they're noticing them more, it's that their energy is shifting and reality is responding. When you focus on signs, patterns, and messages, you are effectively tuning your consciousness into the hidden order of the universe, much like turning a radio dial to the right frequency to pick up a clear signal. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Your subconscious mind plays a massive role in generating these synchronicities. While your conscious mind is busy with daily tasks, your subconscious is constantly processing deeper connections, linking information, and picking up on subtle patterns that your conscious mind might miss. When you set an intention, whether consciously or unconsciously, your subconscious mind begins aligning events in ways that lead you toward that outcome. This is why people who strongly believe in synchronicities experience them more frequently. Their subconscious is actively participating in the alignment of reality. Now, I know skeptics will argue that all of this is just selective attention. that synchronicities are nothing more than random events your brain chooses to notice. But if that were truly the case, why do these events so often carry such deep, personal meaning? Why do they perfectly align with your thoughts, emotions, and inner experiences at the exact right moment? And why do they have this uncanny ability to guide people toward life-changing decisions? It's simple. Synchronicities are not coincidences. They are a profound form of communication, a dialogue between your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and the deeper intelligence that governs reality. The key is knowing how to work with them instead of against them. Because once you start intentionally aligning with synchronicities, they don't just appear more often. They become a powerful tool for transformation. And that leads us to an even bigger revelation. Why do some people experience synchronicities constantly, while others never seem to? What separates those who live in perfect alignment from those who remain disconnected? The answer may surprise you. Let's go deeper. If synchronicities are truly happening all the time, why do some people experience them constantly, while others barely notice them at all? Why do certain individuals seem effortlessly guided by life's hidden patterns, while others feel completely lost in randomness? The answer is surprisingly simple. It comes down to awareness, alignment, and belief. Most people live their entire lives in a state of disconnection. They're trapped in a mindset of rigid logic, doubt, and materialism. They've been conditioned to believe that life is purely mechanical, that things happen solely due to cause and effect, that luck is random, and that the universe is indifferent to their existence. This very belief system acts as a mental barrier, effectively blocking synchronicities from even appearing in their lives. Even when meaningful coincidences do happen, they quickly brush them off as irrelevant, refusing to acknowledge the deeper patterns at play. Think of it like this. Imagine you're in a pitch-black room filled with countless radio waves. Hundreds of stations are broadcasting at the same time, but if you don't have a radio tuned to the right frequency, you won't hear anything. The same principle applies to synchronicities. If your mind isn't tuned into the frequency of alignment, you'll simply never notice the signals that reality is constantly sending you. Now contrast that with people who live in tune with synchronicities. These individuals aren't inherently special. They have simply trained their minds to be receptive to the signs around them. They don't dismiss strange alignments as mere chance. Instead, they pay attention. They trust their intuition, and they actively follow the patterns. And here's the truly fascinating part. The more you acknowledge synchronicities, the more they happen. This is because of two key factors: your subconscious mind and the law of vibration. Your subconscious mind is a powerful processing unit, constantly absorbing information far beyond what your conscious mind is aware of. It picks up on subtle patterns, hidden connections, and unseen opportunities. When you actively focus on synchronicities, you are training your subconscious to seek out more of them. It's like programming a search engine. Once you tell your mind that synchronicities are important, it starts filtering reality in a way that brings them to your attention more frequently. This is the power of the subconscious connection. This is why some people seem to have uncanny luck. They are unconsciously directing their reality, aligning themselves with opportunities, and noticing signs that others completely ignore. Their subconscious is literally wired for synchronicity. Moving on to the law of vibration. Everything in the universe operates on frequency, including your thoughts and emotions. When you are in a low vibrational state, filled with fear, doubt, or negativity, your energy contracts and your awareness shrinks. This makes it far harder to recognize synchronicities because your perception is locked into survival mode, focused on immediate concerns rather than the bigger picture. On the other hand, when you raise your vibration through practices like gratitude, mindfulness, curiosity, and clear intention, you become more aligned with the flow of the universe. Your energy expands, and you start attracting synchronicities because your consciousness is now operating on a frequency that allows them to come through. This is why people who meditate, practice mindfulness, or engage in deep self-reflection often report a massive increase in synchronicities. They have cleared the mental noise and consciously tuned their awareness to the hidden order of reality. But there's one more crucial element: trust. People who experience frequent synchronicities are those who trust the process. They don't question whether a sign is real or not. They follow it. They act on the signals, and in doing so, they reinforce the very pattern. When you acknowledge, trust, and act on synchronicities, they multiply. And here's where most people fail. They experience synchronicities, but they don't take action. They see the signs, but they hesitate, second guess, or completely ignore them. This weakens the connection and causes the synchronicities to fade away. Because synchronicities are not just messages, they are opportunities for alignment. The universe is showing you a door, but it's entirely up to you to step through it. So now, the real question is, how do you strengthen this connection? How do you consistently recognize, interpret, and act on synchronicities in a way that allows them to become a consistent, guiding force in your life? The answer lies in learning how to decode these subtle signs. And that's exactly what we're about to uncover next. Let's go deeper. Synchronicities are happening around you all the time. The challenge is, most people simply don't know how to recognize them. Or even worse, they dismiss them as purely random occurrences. But once you understand how to identify these profound patterns and decode their meaning, you'll begin to see that reality has actually been speaking to you all along. The very first step to effectively working with synchronicities is awareness. You need to consciously shift your mindset from merely assuming life is random to deeply understanding that everything is interconnected. The universe communicates through a rich tapestry of symbols, recurring patterns, and perfect timing. These signs will often appear in three distinct forms: numbers and repeating patterns. Have you ever noticed the same numbers appearing repeatedly, seemingly everywhere you look? Perhaps 1111, or 222, or 333? These numerical sequences are far from coincidences. Numbers, in their essence, carry specific vibrational frequencies. And when they start showing up consistently in your life, it's a powerful indication that something significant is shifting within your reality. In ancient mysticism, numbers were even considered the foundational blueprint of creation itself. Seeing specific sequences often signals a powerful alignment of energy. Pay close attention to what you're thinking or feeling at the exact moment these numbers appear. Your subconscious mind is actively trying to convey a message to you. Symbolic encounters. Synchronicities frequently manifest in the form of objects, specific animals, or powerful symbols that hold a unique and personal meaning for you. It could be a particular song playing at just the right, poignant moment, a specific phrase that's repeated by multiple different people on the same day, or even a certain animal crossing your path in an unexpected way. These are all part of a larger unfolding message. The key here is to truly trust that if something feels significant to you, it is significant. Don't dismiss it. Unlikely events and meaningful coincidences. These are perhaps the most striking moments, when things perfectly line up in ways that conventional logic simply cannot explain. Maybe you were on the verge of giving up on a long-held dream, and then suddenly, an incredible, unexpected opportunity lands squarely in your lap. Or you randomly bump into the exact right person at precisely the perfect time. These moments are absolutely not random. They are powerful guiding forces, meticulously designed to gently or sometimes strongly push you in the right direction. So, how do you actually decode these synchronicities? It all starts with asking yourself the right questions. When a synchronicity appears, pause and deeply reflect. What was I thinking or feeling right before this happened? What decision am I currently facing, and how does this synchronicity relate to it? Does this confirm or perhaps challenge something I've been questioning internally? Is there a pattern emerging here? Has this happened before? One of the most powerful tools you can incorporate into your daily practice is a synchronicity journal. Start writing down every single time something unusual, meaningful, or perfectly timed happens. Over time, you will inevitably begin to see patterns forming. You'll notice recurring symbols, repeated messages, and crystal clear guidance emerging that you previously missed. The more consistently you track these synchronicities, the more abundantly they will appear in your life. But here's the crucial secret. Recognizing synchronicities is only the first step. Acting on them is what truly transforms your life. If you keep seeing a repeating sign telling you to take specific action, then do it. If you constantly encounter the same message, it's because the universe is patiently waiting for you to respond. The people who live in deep, effortless flow with synchronicities are the ones who consistently trust and then act. And this leads us directly to the final piece of the puzzle: how to consciously attract even more synchronicities into your life. Because once you truly understand how to open this channel, you can begin using synchronicities as a deliberate tool to create profound, real change. Let's go deeper. Recognizing synchronicities is a fantastic start, but learning how to actively use them as a powerful tool for transformation, that's where the real magic happens. The truth is, synchronicities are more than just signs. They are profound invitations. They are opportunities for you to shift, to align, to consciously step into a reality where things flow effortlessly in your favor. The question is, are you truly paying attention? And more importantly, are you willing to act on what you perceive? Most people tend to treat synchronicities as something mystical, a passive occurrence, as if they're simply fun coincidences to observe. But in reality, synchronicities are a form of direct, intentional communication between you and the deeper intelligence that governs the universe. They are signals that you are either in alignment with your true path, or sometimes they can be subtle warnings that you are not. The individuals who experience the most synchronicities aren't just lucky, they are active, conscious creators of their own reality. So, how do you use synchronicities to profoundly reshape your life? It comes down to three fundamental steps: intention, alignment, and action. Set a clear intention. Synchronicities are incredibly responsive to your focus. The more specific your thoughts and desires are, the clearer and more direct the signs will become. If you are seeking guidance, genuinely ask for it. Literally set an intention. Show me a sign that I'm on the right path. Reveal to me the next step toward my highest purpose. Bring me the right people, the perfect opportunities, and the most favorable circumstances. The key here is to be open and receptive to how the answers will come. The universe doesn't always communicate in linear, predictable ways. It speaks through symbols, through profound emotions, and through impactful experiences. The more clearly you ask, the more you will start to notice the signs appearing, seemingly everywhere, all around you. Align your energy. Synchronicities are a direct reflection of your vibrational state. If you find yourself in a state of resistance, doubt, fear, or constantly overanalyzing, you are effectively blocking the flow. But when you consciously step into a state of trust, excitement, and receptivity, the signs will begin to accelerate in your life. This is precisely why synchronicities tend to spike during periods of major personal growth or change, when you are bravely stepping into an unknown but truly aligned path. One of the fastest and most effective ways to increase the frequency of synchronicities is to consciously raise your personal vibration. Practices like meditation, cultivating deep gratitude, vivid visualization, and consistent self-reflection put you in a state of profound openness where synchronicities can flow freely and abundantly. If you've ever experienced a period in your life where things seemed to magically fall into place, it wasn't magic. It was absolute alignment. Take aligned action. This is, unfortunately, where most people fall short. They see the signs, they acknowledge them, but then they hesitate. They second-guess themselves. They wait for more confirmation. But remember, synchronicities are not just messages to passively observe. They are powerful catalysts for action. If you keep seeing the same number, the same phrase, or the same symbol over and over again, it's not random. It's a clear, persistent nudge. If you find yourself being irresistibly drawn toward a new path, a new person, or an unexpected opportunity, that is the universe opening a door for you. The crucial key is to courageously walk through it. And here's the most important part of all: synchronicities multiply when you follow them. The very moment you start trusting the guidance and courageously acting on it, reality itself begins to rearrange itself in your favor. The more intently you listen, the louder and clearer the signs become. The universe fundamentally rewards movement. People who live their lives in deep flow with synchronicities do not ignore the signs. They embrace them and they take action. And as a direct result, they begin to live in a state where incredible opportunities, meaningful connections, and moments of perfect timing become not just rare occurrences, but a normal, expected part of their everyday reality. They are not waiting for life to happen to them. They are actively, consciously co-creating it. And this, my friends, is where you must now make a choice. Now that you understand what synchronicities are, how they fundamentally work, and how you can actively use them, what will you do with this profound knowledge? Because most people, even after hearing everything we've just uncovered, will go right back to their old patterns. They'll notice a synchronicity, feel a brief moment of wonder, and then quickly dismiss it as a mere coincidence. They'll receive a powerful sign pointing them towards something new, but they'll hesitate, overthink, and tragically allow fear to stop them from taking that necessary leap. They'll remain stuck in a loop of doubt, perpetually waiting for more proof, waiting for something bigger, waiting for absolute certainty. But here's the unvarnished truth: certainty never truly comes before action. The system has meticulously trained you to ignore these signs, to rationalize them away, to remain disconnected from the deeper, benevolent intelligence that is constantly guiding your life. But now you see it. Now you understand that reality is not random. It is elegantly structured, profoundly intelligent, and incredibly responsive. And more importantly, you are an indispensable part of that very structure. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your conscious choices powerfully shape the path ahead of you. You are not just moving through reality, you are actively co-creating it. So what does this mean for you? It means that synchronicities are not just happening to you, they are happening for you. Every single alignment, every moment of perfect timing, every repeating number, symbol, or message is a direct invitation. An invitation to step into a new, more empowered way of being. An invitation to deeply trust, to boldly expand, to align with your highest self, and most importantly, to act. If there's one singular thing you take away from this episode, let it be this: do not ignore the signs. The universe speaks in whispers first. If you don't listen, the messages will get louder. If you continue to ignore them, the synchronicities will eventually stop, and you risk falling back into unconscious patterns, drifting without true direction. But if you listen, if you truly start treating synchronicities as real, if you courageously follow where they lead, your entire life, my friend, can profoundly change. The people who experience the most incredible synchronicities are not just lucky. They are consistently paying attention. They are courageously acting on their intuition. They are deeply trusting the process. And because of that, their lives move in ways that seem effortlessly magical, as if something benevolent is working diligently behind the scenes to align everything perfectly in their favor. Because something is. All right, seekers, let's quickly recap today's powerful conversation. We dove deep into synchronicities, those uncanny, perfectly timed events that are far more than mere coincidences. We explored how society's conditioning often blinds us to these deliberate messages from the universe, teaching us to dismiss them as random luck. But as we discussed, even brilliant minds like Jung and Einstein recognized a deeper intelligent order at play. We then unpacked the hidden mechanics behind how these messages arrive. You learned about your reticular activating system, the law of vibration, and the incredible power of your subconscious mind in actively shaping your reality. These aren't just abstract concepts, they're the very tools through which the universe communicates with you. And most importantly, We broke down the 3 vital steps to not just notice, but actively use synchronicities to reshape your life. Set a clear intention. The universe responds to your focus. Align your energy. Raise your vibration, and you'll attract more of what serves your highest good. Take aligned action. This is where the magic truly unfolds. When you trust the signs and act on them, synchronicities multiply. Remember, the universe isn't just sending you messages, it's extending invitations. Invitations to step into a life that flows with ease and purpose. Don't ignore the signs that are everywhere, waiting for you to truly wake up and finally see them. If this message landed for you, if you felt that spark, that quiet yes in your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button, subscribe for more conversations like this, and most importantly, share this episode with someone else walking this path. There's a whole world of seekers out here, quietly breaking old loops and choosing new frequencies. Are you one of them now? Let's find each other. Let's grow together. I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you in the next episode of Awaken Your Inner Creator.